So I remember, I mean, in the MTC, I was there for 9 weeks, learning Spanish. And, after 9 weeks, you think that you learn a lot of Spanish, and you do, which is great. But I remember being on the airplane headed to Bogota for the first time, and I was pretty confident that I knew Spanish. In those 9 weeks, I was like, oh yeah, all the other missionaries, I knew more than them. And the new missionaries coming in, seeing how much they didn't know, I was just like, oh, I totally have this. Like, I felt really confident. I remember getting on the airplane and just full of the missionary spirit, I try and start talking to the guy that's sitting on my left about the church. And, he's from Colombia, so he doesn't speak English. And so I start to try and ask him in Spanish, where he's from and about his family. And the responses that I was getting, it wasn't Spanish. He was speaking perfect Spanish to me, but I was just like, what is this language? Like, this isn't the same language they taught me in the MTC. So it was funny just feeling confident about it and then getting to the mission field and realizing, holy cow, these people talk so fast that, oh man, this is going to be tough. So I remember getting to the airport in Bogota. I remember leaving the airport and seeing the streets of Colombia for the first time. And the first thing that I noticed were all these little taxis just zipping around. There's these tiny yellow taxis just flying around everywhere. And I was just like, man. And I just remember looking around and being the tallest guy that I could see. Everyone else was at least a head shorter than me. I'm 6'3" or 6'2", and everyone else was just ridiculously shorter than me. And so I was instantly the tallest guy in the country, probably, and all these little taxis were zipping around. And then I noticed a bunch of armed guards with machine guns just standing everywhere in the streets. And I just remember thinking, what am I getting myself into? But it was great. I learned to adapt, and I started, seeing all these funny things about Colombia, how they didn't have milk that came in cartons. They had milk in little plastic bags, and you didn't have to refrigerate them. And just how the food that they ate, they had a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of chicken and beef and soup, and so it was an awesome change. But I feel that after the first few weeks and first months, I started to catch on a little bit more to the Spanish, and the taxis didn't seem as weird. But Bogota and Colombia in general is known for being really dangerous and is known for drugs. And those were basically the two things that people were telling me before my mission, was that, hey, when you get to Colombia, beware because it's dangerous and there's lots of drugs. And okay, just as anywhere in the world, there are dangerous places, but Colombia is nowhere near as dangerous as what people tell you. There are dangerous things, and you need to be careful, of course, and keep the rules and don't stay out too late. But I didn't see any drugs as much as they would say that I would, and it was really not as dangerous as I would think it would be. So.